Entrances and routes of travel, that's kind of what we hear about most. And you might think, well, I can't do anything about that because I just use this facility. Well, there's some things you might be able to do. You know, at least looking for things that should occur and then talking to the right person about getting them, whether it be accessible parking, a route to the facility. Within the facility, you usually have a great deal of control. We are moving into a smaller space than the space we currently have. It's so tempting to put filing cabinets and all kinds of stuff in the hallway. And there's where actually the ADA moves in our favor. There are some rules about that, and safety rules. You can't just do that. It wouldn't look very good either. But anyway, making sure that the aisles are open and there aren't protruding objects. Gently sloping walks, wide and uncluttered aisles, clear, large print, directional signs. I don't know how many computer labs I go onto our campus, and their signage has so much text on it. You walk up to it, and it's kind of a little habit of mine. I like to think about how many words are really necessary in that sign. And you know, for me, in my little survey, it's about 1/4. They need about 1/4 of those words. If they use 1/4 of those words and use large print, bold, it'd be a much better sign for everybody. And there are all kinds of signs available that are quote ADA compliant and so forth. But one thing I like about signs is that they're very specific. And I like them if they don't use the word disability unless they need to. I like these on the left here. Exit ramp up. It's like, okay, it's a ramp. It's an exit. If I need a ramp and I'm getting out of here, I go that way. And exit stair up. And isn't that what you really need to know? You don't need to know that it's a handicap exit necessarily, but you need to know that it's a ramp. Also for stairs and so forth. Here's one of my pet peeves for signs at the University of Washington. This is on the hub, our student union building, one of the main entrances. And there's a sign, there's a little button you can push and then it'll open the door, of course. For use by mobility impaired only. All capital letters, and it just sounds really scary, like, oh, okay, yes, sir, right? And so I know the people over there, so I went up to Paul Zukowski one day, and I said, I would like to turn myself in. I just used that door up there, because I had a bunch of books in my hand, and I know it's for mobility impaired. I'm going to take my punishment, because I really need to learn that, use that door, so what do I need to do? Of course, he knows me well enough to just say, get out of here. You know, but he knew, he said, well, this sign is still there, so we could change that sign. It's a very unfriendly sign. It's very isolating. It's like these people go in this door and these people go in the other door. Reminds me of some signs that might have appeared down south at one point in time. We don't do that anymore, do we? Have special wheels or have fountains. I said, well, it's for one group and then other fountains for another group. And I said, why is it for mobility impaired only? He couldn't give me a real answer. He said, well, we just want to make sure it doesn't get too crowded, so we'll have access to it. Well, I've never seen, Dennis, have you ever seen a long line at the back entrance to the student union building for the wheelchair door? It's like, come on, just take it down. But put something else down. And then there's another one that was on an establishment not too far from my house. Handicapped entrance at north end of building. And it's kind of like, well, first of all, handicapped entrance, handicapped isn't really the right word to be using anymore, but even if we kind of get past that, what kind of handicap? You know, what kind of disability are we talking about? Now, if I'm blind, do I go there? What if I have a learning disability? Am I supposed to go up there? We actually, a sign actually benefited our program one time because we went to the zoo, and the zoo has a sign similar to that, except it's people with disabilities, free entrance. So I'm thinking, hey, I call them on the phone, say, does that mean we have some people that are attendants or assistants to people with disabilities? Can they go in too? Sure. We show up there, all 30 of us, and I said, we're all free. So, oh, well, only the disabled people get free. And I said, well, everyone here has a disability, or they're an attendant or assistant. Anyway, I argued with this one for a while. She says, well, what about that kid over there? I said, well, I can't disclose what that disability is, but I can tell you that a number of these kids have learning disabilities, attention deficits, autism. She says, well, that's not the kind of disability we need. And I said, well, then I guess you should change your sign. But I did demand that we get it free. We did. So signs can work your benefit. But I kind of look at signs in general and kind of tell them, and think, why is it worded that way? What message is that sending? And sometimes the signage, unnecessarily, to provide resources for people with disabilities is isolating. So we don't want that. Well.